one of the big seven. It is Thursday.
Well, this will come out on a Monday.
It probably
But
will, but we the last two podcasts in a row, either I've forgotten a day
or
or
I
you've forgotten
forgot.
a day,
Yeah.
and so we're off to a great beginning of the end right there. Just kidding. We'll keep it on track. And
Yeah.
to the all seven of the people who are just eagerly waiting Monday at midnight for the episodes to drop, I'm sorry. We'll do better.
Yeah. No, we won't. But you know what? We're here to have fun. And
Exactly.
to everyone who's tuning in, if this is your first time, I'm Bailey. And this is, say your name.
Ethan,
This is
yeah.
Ethan. This
Say
is
my name, yeah.
This is Niche Knowledge and Nonsense podcast. We also go by NKNPod. And every 2 weeks, Ethan and I alternate topics that interest us, and then we surprise the other one. So we have no idea what we're talking about beforehand.
Yeah.
And I
And
am scared
it's
for
never
this one.
and
So,
it's never normal either. So we're not going to just hop in and talk about like the political climate or the regular
no.
climate. You're not going to get a weather report unless it's a point relating to our topic.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, like out here, it is, I have no idea what the weather is. My Apple Watch is dead, so I'm just wearing it for swag right now. It only tells the time. But today it was 68 degrees, beautiful. It couldn't have been a better day in Missouri. What is it right now? 57? Oh my gosh.
That's
Perfect
nice.
night.
Good spring weather. We just
Yeah.
had some big storms, though. And I mean, there was that big, I guess we are talking about the weather. There was that big tornado that went through St. Louis, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So thoughts, prayers, and donations or volunteer if you're around or anything. They're still doing the cleanup. Pretty big tornado went through St. Louis, which is just a stone's throw away from me. So
Yeah.
it's pretty rough in some areas. Again, they mostly have the roads and everything open, but some of the neighborhoods are pretty decimated. Unless, are we not supposed to use
Dang.
that word? Does that mean reduced to a tenth or reduced by a tenth? Regardless, it's somewhere in the middle of those two things.
Yeah. And most of the time when people say they want to be sucked and blown, a tornado is not what they mean. And I feel very bad for everyone who was sucked and blown and wasn't prepared.
Oh my gosh. So this was a miscommunication, clearly, and yeah. So anyway, thoughts go out to St. Louis, everybody. So, band
Yeah.
together, do what you can. And anywhere else, I know a couple other areas were hit with those storms as well. But
Yeah. Well,
wild stuff.
I would love to do an episode on tornadoes at some point. I just watched a documentary that talks about Tornado Alley actually shifting up into Illinois and Iowa. So I think that could be interesting. But I mean, way more places like up, it's kind of shifted up north a bit. So, which is scary.
Sure.
So,
I mean, we've both lived in tornado country basically our whole lives.
yeah.
I mean, the only time I didn't, I think I lived out on the like southeast coast and there were hurricanes. So a little
Yeah.
bit different, but storms everywhere.
Right.
And it's one of those things, they're creepy. They're very interesting. It's fun to stand out on your porch and watch them go through a cornfield if they're far off in the distance. And it's easy to forget there's probably like people's houses and stuff.
That make up the debris in it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But this one was notable. I think you sent me a photo of it kind of right after it happened from the St. Louis Arch, which is a massive monument, one of the biggest arches in this hemisphere, if not the
Right.
biggest.
Yeah.
Over 600 feet tall. And they took a photo of this tornado that is like a mile wide. Like it is, they call it like what, a
Yeah.
wedge tornado or a wall tornado. It's just
Yeah.
absurd.
I don't remember the specific term for it, but
But it looks
I
like a cloud just like drops all the way to the ground, and the whole thing's
yeah.
just the
Well,
funnel or
I
debris
saw
field.
it and immediately sent you that article because I was like, is this like really close to where you work?
It was.
Like, are
It's
you
like
guys
half
okay?
a mile from my office.
Yeah.
I'd left early that day to avoid the storms, but
Oh my
pretty
God.
scary. Yeah. And I mean, I
Wow.
work in a concrete building that used to be a underground parking garage, so I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't get much safer than that, but
Yeah.
still scary stuff. Now, speaking of scary stuff, how about these producers, huh? Their writing sucks. So let's let's get right into
Yeah.
it. All right. So, today I wanted to talk about a nuanced and ever changing topic, one that has shaped decades as a defining visual waystone, marking the eras with more exciting definitive aesthetic than Taylor Swift. This is a controversial topic that has, at times, gotten extremely political. See, we're going to talk about weather and politics here.
Okay.
In various levels, at least, from like basic Twitter beefs all the way to full on news cycle discourse. So today, we debate the violently opinionated question: is the green M&M hot?
Shut up.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is
So,
seriously,
yes, okay, there is a lot to this, bro. There is a
this is
lot to this.
not what you hinted you were going to be writing about.
So that is
Ethan?
interesting because I finished another episode that, so if you've got jokes you already wrote, just save them.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I, just to drop a spoiler, I'm
Okay.
working on a pretty intense special. I would almost call it a special about two famous internet celebrities, two different porks, and this thing is a pigsty. It is getting wild. So if you're a fan of either
Okay.
the influencer John Pork or the designer, famous fashion designer Marcus Pork, you are in for it.
All right.
But yeah,
So,
so go
so
on.
we're okay. So let me get this straight. We're talking about whether or not the green M&M is sexy.
Yeah, sexy or hot. I don't like using
Okay.
that word, sexy. Ugh. It'll
Okay.
come up a few times in this episode. And by that I mean the topic, nothing else.
Okay.
Um, but yeah. So how can a chocolate candy be hot when chocolate melts at 97 degrees? Well, a good amount of research actually went into that as well. They planned for this level of hotness because the hard shell on the outside of an M&M actually doesn't melt until 302 degrees Fahrenheit.
What?
Now, yeah, seriously, it's true. Now, you might wonder, if that's the case, why do they still melt in your mouth? And that's mostly because it's just sugar. Like, it's a
Yeah,
candy, bro.
the
Like, it
saliva
dissolves.
kind of breaks it down. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because they're so mouth-wateringly good and attractive.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, let's investigate the green M&M's look, personality, and other factors to see if she's hot or not.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay.
So the Green M&M, or Miss Green, as she's formally known, debuted in 1997. Now, I was born in 1993, so I think I weighed about like 35 or 40 pounds at the time. I think it's like, what, 10 pounds per year when you're a kid? And according to Google AI, Miss Green weighs 2.56 ounces. Now, since most M&Ms weigh 9/10 of a gram, that's actually fairly substantial, which fits with her larger than life personality. So,
Okay.
when she debuted in a hit commercial called Green's Arrival, they instantly went with this like risque persona. So in the commercial, we see Dennis Miller. I guess he's from SNL. I'm not really familiar with his work. Interviewing the famous yellow and red M&M that a lot of people know from the commercials. When suddenly Miss Green trots out from behind a curtain, making everybody freak out. So Dennis asks her about her acting. Apparently, she's an actress. There's not really a lot of backstory other than that.
Mm-hmm.
And she flirts with him, saying not to get his hopes up because she doesn't take off her shell in her latest movie. So now that's important. What's like important to note is that Dennis introduces Green as, and I quote, a hot and sexy spokes candy. And this is in
What?
1997, so it got a little bit of alarm even back that far for saying that in a commercial.
Right.
So,
What?
yeah, this is all real. I don't want to play the whole commercial because it's an audio format, and I don't know if we'll get like copyrighted or something
Right.
like that.
You can still send it to me and I can watch
I
it.
will, and
But
I'll
yeah.
link it in the show notes. But like
Yeah.
right off the bat, in the commercial, the red M&M then begins flirting with her, inviting her to film a commercial with him, to which she claps back that she doesn't do commercials because, she's a star.
Mm-hmm.
So she's more than just a sweet face and a real treat. She has a little bit of bite, right? And, sometimes that adds to the hotness of something.
Okay.
So, Bailey, related to that, it's time for a little bit of a quiz. And
Oh,
this is just
no.
opinion based. Like, it's not going to test
Okay.
your knowledge because I know
All
you're
right.
you're a little under the weather, so no
Yeah.
math. So, Curtis has 17 M&Ms at a resting body temperature of 98 degrees. Oh,
Okay.
okay, I'm joking.
Oh, okay. I was
I was just
ready.
gonna I was just gonna ask, do you think that different M&M colors have different flavors?
No, because it's just the
Ding, ding,
candy
ding.
that's colored. Yeah, I always thought as a
Correct.
kid they tasted different, but
A
I,
lot of people, almost
yeah,
most people do say that they're like
yeah.
subtly different.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's just like a subtle difference in the shell dye, like contributing, some people say like, "Oh, I can taste the red M&Ms," whatever.
Yeah.
And I think they're getting confused with like in their mind somehow with Skittles, which are different flavors. But according to the
Yeah.
official Wikipedia, every single one tastes exactly the same thanks to flavor neutral colorings that have been deliberately chosen.
Oh, interesting. So it's
Yeah,
kind of like
absolutely.
a pseudo effect.
Exactly, like a
Yeah.
placebo.
Yeah, placebo. Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
that's the word.
And again, I couldn't find like aside from anecdotal, like not a lot of really good science on it, but some people do like blind M&M taste tests. There's a few videos out there and no
Yeah.
one can tell the color. Like
Are they like, do they only select like people who are blind or do they like blindfold them and have them guess what color they're
let's
eating?
let's just say they're incapacitated for the greater good.
Okay.
Um, so regardless of flavor, also I've got to ask, do you sort your M&Ms by color before you eat them? And if so, what color do you eat first?
It depends on how busy I am,
Ooh,
but
good.
we keep a candy bag at work and then I'll just like grab a handful and then just like put like six in my mouth at once and eat it. But when I do sort out, I like to pick the blue ones. I like the blue
So
ones.
I also couldn't find good numbers on this, but I'm the same. If I have time and I'm not like walking, I like to sort them out. I'd like to just sort the whole package out, put them like a little histogram,
Yeah.
almost like one of those little audio bar charts, that jumps.
Hmm.
I forget what those are called at this moment. Um,
I
and
know what you
see,
mean. Yeah.
yeah, what color there is the most of. And if given the option, I start with blue. That just tastes the
Okay.
best to me.
Yeah. But my favorite color is blue, so I think that's my biased response to that. But
Absolutely.
what's your second color that you choose? Because mine is green.
So I go blue, I go green, and then I go yellow.
Interesting.
I feel
Okay.
like I kind of move along the rainbow spectrum, though. You
Oh,
know?
okay. Roy G. Biv.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. I do
I
red
do
last.
brown
No, I do
last.
brown last.
Ah,
Shut up.
yeah, bro. We eat our
Okay.
M&Ms in the same order. Dude,
Okay.
that's kind of
If
wild.
you're listening right now and you sort out your M&Ms, comment what in what order you eat them in.
This might be our like actually a good poll instead of me just saying, "Do you believe in Sasquatch?" Yes or yes, like every single episode.
Right. Yeah.
That's actually kind of wild.
That
So,
is. Huh.
yeah. Now that doesn't actually play into this too much, other than to say that green is popular across the board.
Mhm.
But let's back into this. Well, Miss Green's sass might not contribute to any lime-like zest. She did go on to be a hugely successful addition to the M&M's advertising campaigns. So, according to Miss Green's Wikipedia, the total number of ads she has appeared on is lots. Just
Lots.
lots.
Not
Yeah,
even. Yeah. Yeah.
just just lots, I guess. So her personality might contribute to her hotness, but you know what else does? Her work ethic. Or to be frank, the work ethic that led to her astonishing net worth. So
Oh, whoa.
I asked, yeah, seriously, I
Okay.
asked ChatGPT to estimate the net worth of the green M&M, and it actually readily responded to this. So
Whoa.
it said, in a theoretical guess, the green M&M's net worth would clock in at around $45 million. And here's the reasoning behind that estimate.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So, um, during this, like, I wondered if it would tell me something like, like this number with so much like confidence. And that's when
Mm-hmm.
I discovered a little bit of conspiracy. One of our first conspiracies going on here, aside from the backlash against using the word sexy in a commercial. But
Right.
before that, we kind of have to. I'm going into this. Do you think that wealth makes somebody hot or not? And do you think work ethic makes somebody hot or not? Because I'm weighing
Um,
this in on whether or not she's hot. We're taking up a tally here.
I mean, if I don't think someone's wealth is like sexy to me,
Hmm.
but it could also be one of those things where it's like if they have a good work ethic and that's how they became wealthy, then that would kind of link back to their work ethic and like having that down. But because I do think that that's attractive, but it's
That's a
also
good
like,
good point. Like so like
yeah.
a
But if it's,
attractive like a wealthy artist versus a lawyer.
yeah, or like somebody who, just got a big inheritance, like because their family's
Mm.
always been rich. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
sure, that's awesome. I'd probably hang out with them. I'd probably let them buy me drinks or
Yeah, I'd
something.
hang
Like,
out on
yeah,
their
sure, let's
boat.
go. Yeah. But
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't be like, smoochy me, smoochy you, like, I'd be like, all right, dude, see ya, but I don't know. I think I'm also kind of weird about like finding people attractive. Like, I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say
It's
you would
interesting
think
because you found like the most attractive man I've ever seen.
he's gonna,
Your husband? He's
his ego just grew 10 sizes, like right now when he's
I
listening.
mean, he's so beautiful and he's never had a bad hair day in his life. Like,
Dude,
I don't know. So it just seems weird that
I,
you're saying like that you're weird about what you find attractive and you just have like the most classically handsome
well,
husband since George Clooney.
let me rephrase that. Like that smut book that I found at Goodwill and hid in your house for you and Kayla to
Yes,
find?
I
Okay.
know it.
The front of that book had like a really beefy guy with a six pack holding a woman like in a
Mm,
dress, and she's like,
yeah. It's like a
and his
Fabio
chest
type
is
guy,
out
yeah.
and he's like super muscular. He's like, man strong.
Hmm.
Like
Like
that's
a
not,
He-Man character, yeah.
that's like what a lot of people may find attractive, but to me it's just kind of like, eh. Like
Sure.
I want to
How much
know
money they have.
you're I want to know if you volunteer at the cat shelter or at like the soup kitchen where you live. Like, how are you sharing you with your community? Like, that's what matters to me. Like, who you are as a
That's a
person
good
matters
line.
more than how much money you have or what car you drive or shit like that. Or how
Hmm.
big your muscles are. I don't give a shit. We're all going to die the same way. Like, what are you,
Yeah.
you know?
Soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
No, that's a
cannot
good
wait.
point.
I'm joking. Um,
And I think, yeah, I think a lot of people probably are in that camp.
mhm.
So, it's fine to kind of weigh that just on its individual merits.
Yeah.
And digging into that and digging into the Chat GPT answer, it explains the various sources of her wealth, which might shine some light on this.
Hang on though. Can you answer the question you asked me though?
Sure, I think I'd go the very same way. I feel like some people, I almost feel like you could reduce it just to people who talk about being wealthy. Hey, I've never met somebody who talks a lot about being wealthy who is actually wealthy.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I feel like that's actually a pretty major turn off. Like, I just
Yeah,
don't
if you're
even want to
bragging
like
about how much money you
hang
have.
around them. Yeah,
No.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I don't like that. Similar to what you said, like if somebody is wealthy as a result of their ambition, I think that's very, very cool. Like I
Yeah.
think that's cool people to be around. That's people who like to chase their ideas to a place of success. And
Mm-hmm.
again, that's people who tend to, I believe a lot of success can elevate people around you. It doesn't always have to be oppressive and take away from another spot to add to your pile, you know?
Right.
Um, and I think in
Yeah.
cases like that, it can be very attractive. But if you're just being like some little snot or a trust fund baby or something, I'm
Right.
not as into it.
Yeah.
But the green M&M, I will say, is a self-made woman. So ChatGPT breaks this into a few different categories: merchandising, stock, and Mars, because she has equity in the brands she works with. And Mars is just it's the parent company of M&Ms. They make a bunch of chocolate stuff.
Right. But
Brand,
she's not a
yeah.
real person.
Well, this is
This
this
is all
is
hypothetical. Okay.
ChatGPT doing an assessment.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
this could be real. Brand collabs and commercials. So GPT clarifies as a staple in countless ads, especially lucrative Super Bowl spots, she could easily command $500,000 to $1 million per major campaign, especially in unionized Candy Actor Guild rates.
What?
So, Bailey, what is the problem here? Aside
Um,
from the fact that she's not real.
that she's, I mean, she has a voice actor.
That's true. I could probably look up the voice actor net worth, but that's not the problem. The problem is that in the introduction video from 1997, Miss Green clearly said she doesn't do commercials. Some
Oh,
might say that she just evolved with the times, but I say she's a hypocrite. She's a liar. I say she's a two-timing sellout, and that is not hot. Okay, she doesn't stick by her guns. So it's cool
okay.
that she's wealthy and all, but she's a freaking sellout.
Okay. I mean, I like when celebrities do commercials. My favorite one is Michael Cera doing the CeraVe lotion commercial.
Oh, that was goaded, actually.
Right? That
Yeah,
one was
for
just
sure.
like meant to be. So
And
I
I mean,
think,
like, I get my Christmas card from Ryan Reynolds Mint Mobile every year, so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool. Now, we cannot ignore the superficial when we discuss hot or not. Unfortunately, that's the case. Again, the creators of Miss Green wanted her to be independent, successful, confident, and yes, hot. Now, over the years, this has gone up and down, but the green M&M is not above using sensual appeal to sell candies, which is a moral gray area, let's just say.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna send you this ad from M&M's,
Okay.
and then I'll describe it for the audio only.
I'm sorry, what?
Do you remember this ad?
No.
I do remember this one. This is from the USA. Also, ads are different all around the world, so some of them you wouldn't make it through like US regulations, but some of the like Australian ads get wild.
Are you gonna recreate that for the listeners who are audio only?
I will absolutely not be doing that.
Because I'm not
Um,
doing it.
no, all right, yeah, we will not be doing that. I will post a link to some of the, I'll say like my top 10 most sensual M&M commercials that I uncovered. Man, dude, my search history is screwed. Like it
Oh
is
my
effed.
God.
Like
That's
my targeted
hilarious.
ads are gonna be like for better
Oh
help or
no.
something like that. They're
You
gonna be like,
better
this guy needs to talk to somebody.
Nah, I mean, no shame to the furries, but like their shit's gonna be whack too. So and you're just looking at sexy M&Ms,
That's
you
true.
know.
So
So
on the unhinged tier list, are like furries are lower on the totem pole than what would you call them? Candophiles or something?
can't
All right. So
I don't know, I don't know.
moving,
Don't put me on the spot like that. We'll get
yeah,
canceled.
for sure. I mean, For those who can't watch the video, this is a commercial for M&M's mint flavors that came out in like 2008, and it features the green M&M just going through a bunch of very sensual, sultry poses, a bunch of wind blowing and dramatic stuff. And then at the end, it kind of zooms back, and her camera crew of the different colored boy M&Ms, which I don't know, I guess they're boy M&Ms. I didn't look up the M&M pronouns before I made this episode. You can
Okay.
cancel me. I'm
You
sorry. I'm trying my best.
you forgot the most important part of that commercial is that she is very clearly moaning and making
Yes.
like sexual noises
Hmm.
about how good she tastes, which is even more messed up.
Well,
They are 100% sexualizing
yeah.
an inanimate thing
Yeah,
to get you to
exactly.
buy it.
Exactly. So it's a very awkward commercial. So in 1997, again, she debuted with like tall white boots with like big heels on them, luscious pouty lips, and like dramatic mascara. But
Mm-hmm.
it kind of like dialed up from there, like we saw in this video. So again, despite her early reluctance to go shellless, like we saw in that 1997 commercial, the green
Mm-hmm.
M&M eventually did just that many times. So now, one of the early examples was a little sketchy, but I'd also like to play this video. I'm
Okay.
going to send it to you. And again, we'll link these all in the show notes, but describe them as we go.
Okay. I'm I am disturbed.
So,
That was
Bailey,
a commercial.
yes. Now, explain this commercial.
Okay. A guy working on a set goes into a trailer, and it happens to be the Green M&M's trailer, but she's brown, and he's just standing there staring at her, and she looks very clearly like uncomfortable, grabs her green cover, and he's still standing there staring at her, and she says, "I'm naked," and then he just keeps staring at her, and then like awkwardly walks out of the trailer, and then he says, "I gotta go buy a bag of M&Ms."
Yeah. So, again, trying to use this really weird like
Like,
clip to sell candies, which maybe this was just funny back in the day, but it's very awkward. And yeah, I guess she's just this, you see her full chocolatey center without the shell, which is kind of effed up. So
oh
Bailey,
my
how would you
god.
being having had some experience in like some production stuff, how would you rate this commercial from 1 to 5, and why is it a
Um,
2?
why is it a 2? I was gonna give it a -2, Ethan.
Oh, okay.
I I think that it is funny to people with a lower IQ.
Could be.
But like for me, I just see that as like, and I'm not gonna be like, because I'm smarter than you.
They did not get
Um,
that M&M's consent.
Genuinely, I feel uncomfortable because I know of the amount of women specifically, this is not including men, who have had like who have been exploited in that way,
Hmm.
like working in Hollywood or like taken advantage of while working in Hollywood. And that's just like super messed up
Yeah.
to like make a commercial about that. Like, I don't know, it just
Yeah.
doesn't sit right with me. I feel kind of gross right now.
That's
Like,
why I said it. A little
yeah.
hesitant to play it, but I think it's an important piece of
Yeah.
the Green
What
M&M
so
story.
what
Um,
year was that out? I'm gonna
I
open
don't
it
have an
up.
exact year on this one. This one was also most likely the early thousands, just based on the like rudimentary 3D animation, and it kind of, I think, had that like punchy, I would say like 2002 to 2005
Okay.
um camera aesthetic, like really bright
Yeah.
highlights and kind of, a grunge
Mhm.
look overall.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now she isn't like the only one of the M&Ms that has appeared in ads like this. Okay? So,
Okay.
as other like M&Ms have been known to like get their little, P Diddy freak offs on to draw your attention to like, candies on the shelves. So
Sure.
these little freaks have been through a lot, and I think this is probably the last video we'll link, but I usually
Sure.
say we're just describing them. I would say just for nostalgia or, for context, these are almost worth watching. It is so weird.
These are freaking weird, and I'm gonna tell you right now, these were very clearly made by men.
Oh, 100%.
A
hundred
hundred
percent.
percent.
Well, just you
Oh,
wait.
great.
Here's the top
Okay.
8 inappropriate M&M moments.
All right. This one.
Which is a
This
video
one.
you can look up. Again, top 8 inappropriate M&M moments. Some of these are international ads, but go ahead
Okay.
and give this a rip.
Sure. Here we go. I'm. He's even got on a cowboy hat, and now he's doing a little
Yep.
strip tease. What? Oh, there's a green M&M. She's
Oh yeah.
unzipping.
There's issues anytime the green M&M's coming on. So, yeah, she basically is up on a stage. There's not a poll, but we basically are understanding, that she's like
Mm-hmm.
unzipping her shell and then like dancing around these stars, wearing nothing but
Right.
her chocolatey center.
Yeah.
So again, M&Ms across the globe have been known to, it is like, again, maybe it's outdated and they're kind of like poking fun at the whole thing because, it's just candies or whatever, and they're just like getting up to
Sure.
mischief like little gremlins. But it's
Mm-hmm.
some creepy stuff.
It
All
is
right.
definitely creepy, and it doesn't like sit right with me, but I will tell you, everybody wants your money, and they will do some crazy stuff with marketing to get that or to get you to try their stuff.
Now, the age
Like,
old advertising saying, yeah, is sex sells, like whether or
yeah,
not it's even tangentially related to the
right.
product.
Right.
Um, so and this really is the last one. I'm sorry, I thought I only had 3 there. Uh,
Oh, you're
but
good.
but this is another good one because it doesn't actually feature the green M&M, but it's part of the discussion.
Oh my God. I mean, it's kind of funny, but also like, what the hell?
Exactly. So we've come full circle. Basically, the last one I sent is a commercial where there's a brown M&M at a party, and she gets into a scuffle with some folks because they think it's the green M&M and she's naked, but it's actually just the brown M&M. At that point, the red M&M sees her from across the room and says, "Oh, so it's that kind of party," and takes off his shell, exposing his nude chocolate center and proceeding to do a dance. Um, this stuff is all pretty jacked up, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's weird.
Bailey, I only selected a smattering of the sensual M&M's commercials, and we can't just keep like, referencing TV ads on an
Right.
audio
Right.
format, though. I mean, again, I'll link all of them, and you might get some visual aids if you're watching on Spotify. We got video, or
Yeah. And
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So again, the advertising team at Mars, if all of these are actually real, which I've got no reason to doubt that they are, pushes the envelope once in a while. But famously, in 2022, the Mars team updated Miss Green to switch her from her go-go boots to comfortable sneakers for a more casual appearance. Do you remember this happening?
I do. I remember the sneakers.
Yeah,
They looked kind of like
absolutely.
old Skechers.
Very much so, like
Yeah.
Skechers or Keds or something like
Yeah.
that. Just
Yeah.
like what a normal person would wear, which is what they wanted to go for because they were trying to
Mhm.
say, hey, she's still a boss B word, or I don't know if people even
Yeah.
say that anymore. I'm getting canceled twice in this podcast, and that's okay. I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
But that she's just like one of the other M&Ms, and I think they've kind of dialed back their like the red M&M's perverted persona a little bit. Um, but regardless, the internet does what it does, and when they took away the sex appeal of the green M&M, it devolved into chaos. So, people accuse the company of going woke for taking the sensuality out of their favorite melt-proof chocolates. So, one of the most famous examples was when political commentator and YouTuber Tucker Carlson voiced his concern over the new design that was decidedly less sexy because the boots are gone or something, I guess.
What?
And again, this is coming from Forbes. I'll link the article in the show notes
So
there.
let me get this straight. Tucker Carlson commented on the green M&M.
He had a couple different segments, I guess, that he spoke on the issues. A, they're just like introducing different like social commentary stuff on the social media accounts for the M&Ms, but some stuff specifically on the change of the green M&M.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is
Well,
obviously like a little bit much, right? But
yeah.
she's a
Yeah.
candy, right?
Right.
But what if she was more than a candy? And what if there was a technology available to us to reveal what the green M&M might look like as a real woman? I went back to Chat GPT.
Oh my God, Ethan. Oh my
So,
God. I am scared.
my ask was simple. Generate an image of what the green M&M might look like as a human. The AI went right to the task, asking me only one question. Do I want the modern, casual M&M or the classic, sultry one? Now, I had a choice to make, right?
Did you do both?
I
Or
did not
just
do both.
the
I had to
original?
pick one path, and
I'm
I
I'm
did choose the
I'm gonna guess the
original.
sexy one.
Correct.
Yes. Of course you did.
I beg forgiveness. I'm not proud of what I've done, but
I
I knew
am.
for the podcast that I had to go with the sultry M&M. So, in the hit movie
Okay.
Tusk with Justin Long, you're posed with the eternal question, right? Do you go back to the way things were, or do you go on living as a walrus? I chose the walrus today.
Okay. Let's see it. Whoa.
So, there we go. That's ChatGPT's idea of what the green M&M would look like as a woman. Again, if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, you're maybe enjoying this.
Yeah. No, she's very beautiful. I mean, she's not real, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, this shook me to my core. So not only did ChatGPT do a great job of capturing the elements of Miss Green,
Yeah.
again, like her kind of confident, sultry expression. She's got some dramatic eyeliner and mascara, some green
Mm-hmm.
eyeshadow, a very classy Emma dress. But it
Mm-hmm.
also apparently revealed that she's white. Regardless, like I saw this and I'm like, okay, that's actually better than I would have expected. It's an all right interpretation. But
Yeah.
I needed more data. So I went to the task of getting some more data on IRL M&M's characters, just for reference.
Okay.
Now, here's what came back. And Bailey, I'm going to ask you to describe this to our audio listeners.
Oh no. Okay. Oh my God. Is that Steve Harvey?
No, that's an
What?
M&M.
Yeah, but that's if,
Okay,
if
I'm kidding. That's the Dr. Phil M&M.
that's the Dr. Phil M&M. Why did I think Steve Harvey?
Probably the mustache, I guess. I actually could see Steve Harvey. Oh my gosh, Steve Harvey and Dr. Phil have a lot in common. Never even thought
Or is
about
it
that.
because I associate the green M&M with being black?
Dude, we're uncovering
Dude,
real
what is
psychology
happening,
here.
Ethan?
Dude, this is getting
What
deep.
is happening?
All right, but are you ready for a realistic interpretation of the yellow M&M?
Yep.
The emoji that we think of, like the common emoji, smiley face, is actually a yellow M&M.
What the hell is that?
That's the yellow M&M, what it would look like if it was in real life.
Ew.
So you don't think it says again? So we're getting some hot points, I guess, for green M&M because you said she's quite pretty, and these other two you've not reacted well.
Well, I'm like, what are we doing here? Why are these not humans?
It's complicated. It's complicated, but we got to move on. I promise this was going to be a shorter. I promise a
Okay.
shorter episode every time.
Okay. All right.
It's okay, but honestly, I wanted a few more images to try to get like a more diverse selection of Miss Greens. So I kept prompting. I said, could you give me, and I didn't want to like over prompt it. I said 4 distinctly different interpretations of what Miss Green might look like. And that was,
Sure.
again, all I gave it. I didn't want to like over prompt it. So right here, we got 4 versions. The one on the very far left looks very similar to our first prompt. Then, we have a different selection ranging from like, more of a what would you, say? Like, you have a ginger girl and one of them who is black. There's just a lot of different ways that you could go. And all of
Yeah.
these, I say, work for me. I could get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
So yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
not meaning like unlike Tucker Carlson, these are working for me. I just mean that like I could see any one of these playing the green, Miss Green in the live action film,
Yeah.
which hopefully is on the way. I don't know that for certain. Okay,
I
very cool. But which one of these do you think is the most green M&M?
Oh, well,
I almost feel like I have bias because I saw the first one and
yeah,
then
that's how I'm feeling
far left.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's okay. But
Yeah,
since
but I will say either the first one that it generated the picture of, because I feel like she kind of like fits the
like the
voice at
yeah,
least, or the woman on the far right.
I agree 100%.
That's kind of what I would, yeah.
And so then I think it begs a question is like, could we have a distinct before and after split on who's playing the live action Eminem? Because there was a redesign. So, there's different marketing directions you can go. So it's whatever.
Yeah.
I'll leave that up to the Mars Corporation. But this is not good for an audio only format. This might work a little bit better. Something conceptual. So, since there's been some chatter on the right disapproving of the M&Ms, I decided to have ChatGPT create 45 versions of the green M&M as a human woman in honor of the 45th president of the United States, aligned with the Republican Party, Donald J. Trump. So,
Okay.
I'm going to drop this over for you right
Oh
here, and
no.
I'll make this
Why
one.
would you do that?
And
Oh my
here
God.
gives you a bunch of different versions on what you could expect the green M&M to look like if she was a real life woman. And
Okay.
man, ChatGPT's renderings on like getting actually a very impressive amount of well rendered diversity is kind of inspiring in a way.
Yeah.
It's come a long way because, early on in ChatGPT, there was like definitely like a white bias towards image generation.
Mm-hmm.
But these are all pretty cool, I would say.
Okay, the one, so like go 4 rows up from the bottom on the far right.
So
I
one,
think she
two,
would
three,
be a
four.
good. Yeah.
I agree. So some of
Yeah.
these look very similar also, like,
Right.
subtle differences, but that might be
Mm-hmm.
one of my top picks for Miss Green
Yeah.
M&M. I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll get this to casting immediately and figure out where we go from there.
So did you say you made a Trump version too?
No, but that's a good idea. I should have. I was trying to think of something that would resonate for
You should make a
the
Tucker Carlson one.
Oh, just you wait. So I still don't know how Tucker Carlson would like feel about any of these green M&Ms. I mean, they're all very beautiful. I'm only
Mm-hmm.
attracted to my wife though. So I went back to ChatGPT and decided to get to the bottom of this whole thing. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So last image right here.
I can't wait for Tucker Carlson to find the M&M with shit inside because it's similar to the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with the golden ticket that they hid in one of the candy bars. But M&M actually recently put out a new contest where somebody who finds the M&M with the shit in the middle gets to win nothing. And I hope Tucker Carlson finds it.
I do not want to start an internet war with Tucker
You don't.
Carlson. Man, that's a good bit. But no, I wanted to get to the bottom of this because I'm like, I don't know. I feel really good about any of these options for Miss Green IRL, and I wanted to know how Tucker might feel about this. So I asked ChatGPT to give me an interpretation of how Tucker Carlson might feel surrounded by some of these live interpretations of the green M&M, because I know he was a little
Okay.
bit upset about the initial redesign. Okay?
Sure.
And this is what it returned. And for those listening, he is thrilled. He's absolutely delighted with this. So it's come
Yeah.
full circle that on this show, Tucker Carlson and the Green M&Ms have gotten back on the same page. They're all pretty happy. He's
Yep.
sitting there surrounded by 4 green M&Ms. I think we get the one on the far left is like our OG Miss Green, but with green
Yeah.
hair this time. Then
It's
there's one
kind of
that
like a
looks, yeah.
it's kind of like a Hooters but green M&Ms. So,
Oh yeah,
there you
I wouldn't get
go.
within 10
Yeah.
miles of this room. Like, you do not get me wrong. I wouldn't.
They're all very beautiful, but yeah, Tucker Carlson, he's laughing. He's having a great time. I
Yeah,
think he forgot why he was mad.
I think he did. So I'm gonna actually try to reach out to Tucker on Twitter, or previously Twitter, now X, I guess. And I'm just gonna send him this image and ask if like he's buried the hatchet with the M&Ms and if it's all cool at this point. And if I get
Yeah.
anything back, I'll let everyone know. Again, Tucker, in the 1 in 10, how many people are in the world? 8 billion chance that you listen to this. We're not, we're just exploring stuff conceptually. I ain't trying to start beef with you.
No, but I am. You can hit me
I
up
mean, she
anytime.
tried
I
to
think
give
it
you a
might be
poop
fun.
M&M, so
Yeah. I hope you'll find it soon, hopefully. Or I hope he visits family in a nursing home and they have a bowl of peanuts on the table in the family that he's visiting and that he eats them and then he finds out, "Oh no, Clara just likes to lick the chocolate off of the peanut M&Ms and spits them back into that bowl."
okay. So
I don't know.
when they first came out with the black and white M&Ms, my dad was at like a corporate party and they had a bowl of them out. They just always had an M&M bowl. And he walked by the black and white ones and he was like, "What are those?" And they said, "They're M&Ms. They only had the black and white ones." And he was like, "Oh, I thought someone sucked on them."
Oh my God.
So like the exact scenario you just described.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Well, okay, at our wedding I wanted to do because you can have like initials put on M&Ms now. Like you can special order them, but they were going to be like so much money and we decided to like budget that for something else. Cuz I'm fairly I don't know if they still do it. I'm going to look it up really quick. Yeah, you can customize them. So you can like design your own. I'm clicking on it here to see okay, I'm going to click green. Next. Oh, you could put an image on it now.
on an M&M, but they weigh
Yeah,
point
that's so
0.9
small.
grams.
I know. Only 1 to 2 faces cheek to cheek. Okay. Huh. You can do. Interesting. Yeah, you can do a lot more now, I guess.
I'm trying to make a Tucker Carlson M&M.
Oh my God.
Oh, I could
On
send
green
it to Tuck.
M&Ms.
Can you freaking imagine? Oh my gosh, I don't care how much these cost. If they're under $400, Tuck is getting a big old pound of green M&Ms.
Okay.
I'm praying he has a PO box.
Oh my God. You know what? I don't know if he would. I don't know. I mean, like somebody as big as Tucker Carlson, as much as I dislike that person, I would imagine it would be like a matter of safety. You
Yeah,
know?
but I mean, like,
Like,
and that would be, I'm saying, like, most studios then, like, oh, I don't know if he has a studio. He's independent now.
yeah.
So maybe he doesn't even have a PO box. I don't know. If
don't
anybody knows
know.
how we can get in touch with former
Get in
Fox
touch.
News anchor Tucker Carlson, please shoot us a direct message.
Oh
Or if you
my
are Tucker
God.
Carlson, just send us a direct message. So Bailey, do you think you have enough information, given all of this, to make a proper assessment on is the green M&M hot or not?
I think the green M&M is more than her appearance, Ethan.
Okay.
I
Fair
do think
enough.
I do think she is a strong, independent woman who don't need no man
Sure.
and knows
And that
how
stayed true
to.
over every iteration.
Oh yeah. And she's confident. She knows that she's good at what she does.
And she's very good at it.
And
Her net worth is $45 million.
yeah.
That's like 44.99 million more dollars than I have.
Right. And whether or not she likes to be sexualized,
Hmm.
she uses that to her own advantage to make money. However, I
Sure.
will say Mars as a company, like billions of dollars, right?
I would imagine
Like
so.
they're huge. Um, and it's crazy that these characters are not real people. Like, imagine how much they would have to pay people to be a consistent actor. Like, if they started in 97, like, I don't know, like Flo from Progressive,
Oh, geez,
she's
bro.
been
Um,
she's been there for what, maybe 15 years now?
yeah,
10
Milana
years?
Vaintrub, the Lily from AT&T.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Mars is worth $117 billion.
Holy shit.
Sheesh. I'm getting in the candy business. What the heck? I don't
Well,
think it's publicly traded.
they own a lot of other companies.
It's a privately held company owned by the Mars family.
Yes. And they hold
Frick,
so
what?
and yeah, they like own a lot of the candy like production places at least, I think, but
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
pretty
It's kind of
nuts.
crazy.
It is.
Yeah, dude.
So I'm gonna go
So,
with to say more information is needed, so there's gonna be a follow-up episode. So
how about
I'll
this?
say problematic, but she knows how to work it in every sense.
What if we did like a funny little giveaway for this episode and we'll send someone a bag of green M&Ms?
I'm gonna look up first. Can we get just a bag of green M&Ms that some guy didn't hand sort?
Well, yeah, you can buy from like a wholesaler. Like you can buy just like Lucky Charms marshmallows without the cereal.
You can get just green M&Ms, apparently. Just candy.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, yeah, absolutely. You know what? Let's do it. I'm sponsoring this.
You're
We'll
so
put up a hot or not green M&M poll. And one person who completes it will randomly select somebody using like a random generator out of the three people who will enter, and we will send you a bag of green M&Ms.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
wonderful.
good.
Drum up
We're doing
business.
it.
There we go. Yeah, we're doing it.
We're
It's
doing
in the
it.
podcast, so now we kind of have to, or we're going to get so
Yep.
canceled. And I cannot get canceled five times in
I
one
Nope.
episode.
You know what? Now it's a tax write-off.
That's
There you
very
go.
true because, we both make enough money to itemize our taxes. So, Niche Knowledge
Oh
and
man.
Nonsense LLC is, I'm glad we're paying for that.
Yeah. Hey, I did also before we go and say goodbye. Ethan and I are and his wife Kayla are going to be going on a like a
Haunted
ghost,
Expo.
yeah, haunted expo in Alton, Illinois, and we can link it in our show notes if you want more information. But it's through Haunted America, and we've done several ghost tours with them, and it's a great organization. And I've never been to their expo, and I'm really excited to go see it. Maybe we'll see some ghosts, or just like get to buy shit, meet cool people, shoot the shit. I don't
Exactly.
know.
Yeah, at the very
So
least, we'll be around a bunch of other people with some similar interests. And we like to talk to people. Like, whenever we go to those things, you meet some interesting characters. And it's fun to just, like, again, leave whatever, you know, biases,
yeah,
whatever it is at the door and just kind of, enjoy the experience. Because, some of us in our group are religious, some of us are not, some believe in ghosts, some don't. But we've met like mediums who are very interesting. We've met like the architectural historians, we've met some like ghost historians, some like war historians. We meet a lot of cool people going to these things, and this will be the most people across the broadest area.
yeah. I'm super excited.
All right, Bailey,
There
that's
we
all I
go.
had for whether or not the green M&M is hot or not. We can let people weigh in the comments. And if you're looking to
Yeah.
leave a comment, good or bad, you can find us, of course, on Spotify or YouTube, but you can also find us on Instagram or TikTok at NKNPod or Niche Knowledge and Nonsense. Um, yeah, we got anything else?
No, I mean, as always, thank you to Eric Sparrow for letting us use this song, Cherry
Yes.
Crush, as the intro and outro of our podcast. You can find his music anywhere where you can listen. He also has a band camp. You can go in and check out his stuff as well as merch. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thanks for listening, everybody.